You're welcome back to the conversation on News Central Television. Rwandan President Paul Kagame has issued a warning that if the international community continues to implicate his country in the ongoing conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, he may be forced to evict thousands of Congolese refugees currently residing in Rwanda. Kagame, who made the statement during the ceremony for the swearing-in of Rwanda's new Senate President, Francois-Xavier Kalinda, stated that it is unjust for Rwanda to continue hosting refugees and then be held accountable or criticized for issues stemming from their displacement.
President Kagame stressed that Rwanda should not be seen as a dumping ground for people who have been denied their rights, a reference to the allegations that Rwanda is providing support to the M23 rebel movement in the Congo. Kagame's statement comes in response to the Congolese government and a recent UN report that accused Rwanda of supporting the M23. Rwanda has consistently denied any involvement in the conflict, maintaining that it is an internal issue for the Congo to resolve. And joining us to discuss all of this, we have Asong Michael Khumbah, a lawyer and member of the Rwanda Bar Association, joining us from Kigali, Rwanda. We also have Modeste Nkurikiyimana, journalist, also joining us from Kigali, Rwanda. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll begin with Modeste, such a beautiful name you have there. But can you please give a thorough account of the current conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo? And, you know, we've seen lots of allegations on Rwanda, back and forth. Rwanda has consistently denied it. Let's have a thorough overview of what exactly is going on.
Nowadays, and even from the last year, Rwanda has been accused of being involved in the conflict of the Eastern DRC by saying that it supports the rebel movement of the M23. But as you have been saying, Rwanda has been denying that, and even if several reports and many sayings have been really attaching Rwanda to the rebel movement. Currently, as you've been saying, the President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, lastly said that Rwanda will no more be considered like a dumping somewhere people denied of their rights can be always be or go. And he said that actually after several allegations of some leaders of the Democratic Republic of Congo accusing Rwanda of calling Tutsis from DRC to flee to Rwanda, which is actually not true, because those people are fleeing to Rwanda because of being mistreated in their country, and most of the time denied of the rights, because many of those people, specifically Tutsi, who speak Rwanda language, actually have been accused of being Rwandans. And it has been really considered as a segregation, because they are not only those people who speak their language, because even Hutu who are in DRC, specifically in the eastern region of DRC, speak their language, but only Tutsis are the one who would be expelled from DRC, and at many occasions accused, harassed, and even killed, being accused of being from Rwanda, even cooperating with M23, while they are civilians and kids.
Thank you, Modeste. I would like to bring in Michael Asong. Now, Michael, just listening to President Paul Kagame the other day, it sent shockwaves around the world, because this is Rwanda that says it's ready to host refugees that have been denied asylum in the United Kingdom, and then you have him saying, look, threatening to shut down to prevent refugees from DRC from going into his country. So what was the driving force behind President Kagame's decision to threaten the eviction of Congolese refugees residing in Rwanda? What do you make of this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga. Happy New Year. Thank you for having me once more on your show. Thank you also for all our viewers, and Happy New Year. So what we must understand is that President Paul Kagame is human. And as we all know, since this crisis started, the international community has consistently been pointing fingers at Rwanda for having a hand in all the manifestations and atrocities that the M23 rebel group is committing. So on the President Paul Kagame's side, he feels a little bit betrayed. He feels a little bit bad about it because, as we all know, all the reports which have been brought before the table have not yet been demonstrated, or their veracity has not yet been proved to be correct beyond reasonable doubt. So, of course, President Paul Kagame feels bad when he keeps on being accused for something which has not been proven that he is doing.
I'd like to come in here, Michael. When you say it has not been proven, expert panel, United Nations reports, Belgium, France, Germany, the United States of America, they can't all be right. They can't all be wrong in saying that, you know, Rwanda is complicit in support of M23. So I don't even think it's open for debate. The evidence is out there. They've provided satellite imagery. There's been report after report. So I wonder why the Rwandan government keeps denying.
Well, Mr. Gbenga, you can't say they can all be wrong. They can all be wrong. We as lawyers move, or legal experts move with the principle: assume nothing, believe nothing, check everything. And that is why we have competent jurisdictions that are being habilitated with the authority which is necessary to be able to demonstrate whether these facts are true or not. We have received so many facts around the world, and later on we had realized that they were all false. So we cannot say
but a fact, by the nature of the word, a fact means it's right. A fact means it's verifiable. That's why it's a fact, not a speculation.
No, Mr. Gbenga, please. I think we all have a role here to play. I'm a legal expert. When they talk about facts, they are all the different things which have been said, maybe documents which actually lead to the commission of a particular offense or to an event. But we have what they call relevant facts, we have irrelevant facts, and we have material facts. And all these facts, in one way or the other, using the principles of evidence, must be demonstrated to be true or not. If not, we don't consider them. And that is why we have legal systems, and that is why we have courts, because courts are being habilitated with the capacity and potential to demonstrate to everybody that these facts are true or they are not true. That's why we talk of veracity. And my issue is, why is the international community not putting in place or taking the right procedure to be able to demonstrate that Rwanda has a hand? We have the International Criminal Courts, and these courts are there for this purpose.
But Rwanda is not signatory to the Rome Statute, the Rome Statute of the ICC.
That is true, but you know that to seize the International Criminal Court, there are three procedures. So either the member state files the case, or it goes through the initiative of the court itself. And finally, we have an extraordinary procedure which goes through the UN Security Council. And in that case, you must not be a member state to actually be brought before the International Criminal Court.
Okay, I'm going to bring Modeste into all this since we've gone all legal. I mean, how is Rwanda defending itself? You say that there have not been enough proof to show that Rwanda is supporting the M23 rebels. But has Rwanda also shown that they are not supporting the M23 rebels, apart from just making statements, even after they even talked about bringing peace between DRC and Rwanda? What exactly is Rwanda doing to show that it is not supporting the M23 rebels?
Okay, what I actually said.
Sorry, that question is for Modeste, please.
It has been explained several times, Madam. It has been explained several times, either by the government of Rwanda, but Rwanda actually have been saying that those problems are not concerning mostly Rwanda, even if really they are even affecting Rwanda. But
Modeste, are you still with us?
What Rwanda has been doing is simply agreeing with maybe some. Can you hear me?
Modeste, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Okay, go on, please.
Yes. You were asking about what Rwanda has been doing, but
yes.
As Rwanda has been stipulating about that, Rwanda has been saying that the issue of the Democratic Republic of Congo shouldn't be considered as Rwanda's. simply Rwanda has been giving advices about how the root causes of the conflicts can be uprooted, and only Rwanda has been showing up that really explaining that the issue which is taking place in the conflict in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo is simply between the former FDLR, even FDLR, those who perpetrated genocide against the Tutsis in Rwanda, who wanted to pursue that genocide against the Tutsis in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And Rwanda has been really intervening in the summits which has been held in Angola and even in the Nairobi, in the East African region, to really simply explain the best ways that can uproot the problem of the Eastern DRC conflicts. And I think there is nothing else rather than that that Rwanda has been really doing, because out of being accused of having a hand in the rebel movement, there is nothing else that Rwanda has been asked to do so as to tackle the problem of the wars in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Thank you, Modeste. Now, Michael, can you give us an overview of the current situation faced by Congolese refugees living in Rwanda, and what are some of the challenges they encounter in their day-to-day lives as refugees in Rwanda? Michael, can you kindly unmute your mic, please, your device? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Gbenga, I can't exactly tell you the situation at the camps, but what I would like to let you know is that Rwanda is a country where the rule of law is being respected. And hosting refugees is not just all about a country itself, but it's all about all international treaties that govern that particular procedure or act. And Rwanda is one of those countries that stick to these principles. And that is why we have these refugees in Rwanda. And Rwanda is even having different partnerships with other countries like Britain to host more refugees that are being forwarded in Rwanda. So what I want to tell you is that we are very sure that the condition of the refugees are actually good in respect of international conventions. So what I'll say is that certainly they are all doing fine, but of course we know that with the crisis, there will certainly be some sort of tension, because they will be a little bit scared of what is going to happen next. How will the President Paul Kagame react? And that is why I felt a little bit bad when he said that he's going to evict them. I understand he's acting out of his humanity, but I know at the end of the day, he's going to stick to the international principles, and that he is certainly bigger than all the allegations which have been pointing at him, which he hasn't done. So I think they are doing fine, and I think that in the nearest future it will be resolved, and there will be more peace and stability in the community.
Of course, what we're looking for at the end of this is that there is peace in the community. But I also like when there's a comment on the role of the neighboring countries. I mean, DRC and Rwanda do not stand alone. We've seen a lot of peace talks to bring peace between Rwanda and the DRC. What has been the contribution of neighboring countries? Because what affects one country will still affect the other country in the region. What has been their effort so far?
All the efforts that is needed to actually uproot the problems of the Eastern DRC is simply putting the problem into the proper perspective. And unfortunately, that is what people are missing. Nowadays, Tutsis specifically in Minembwe are only being killed. Tutsis in northern Kivu are being simply killed every day by different militias in coalition with for the national armies, and the other Tutsis are also being killed in a region which is called Ituri. And those are simply the same people, Tutsis, and simply these people are being killed by either the government and the militias which are in coalition with the national forces. So the region, what it can do, it is simply put putting the problem into a proper perspective, which means the national arm wouldn't actually allow itself to only one other arm. Professionally, the government solves the military, solves with the two.
Now, Michael, before we begin to wrap things up on today's conversation, let's look at solutions to all of this conflict. It's been going on. It's not victimless. Lots of people have died, and it's led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of people and untold suffering, especially for women and children. So, Michael, in your own opinion, what are the crucial steps that need to be taken to ensure a sustainable solution to the Congolese refugee crisis and also the war in the Eastern DRC?
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga, for that question. I think what we need to apply here is to use a comprehensive approach in resolving this conflict between DRC and the M23, because it's DRC and M23 and not DRC and Rwanda. And we all know that in Africa, we have had a lot of leaders who don't respect the rule of law and who don't respect the needs of the population. So the comprehensive approach will all have to do with our government, first of all, respecting the rule of law, respecting international conventions, respecting and seeking the interests of the population as a whole, first of all. Secondly, we'll need cooperation, because most of our African countries share a common history. They share common boundaries. For example, DRC and Rwanda share a common history with the same colonial master, who probably caused this problem by separating geographically these countries, in which you find other members of a particular country on the other side, making it feel as if members of a particular country, or those who originated from a particular country, migrated there for a particular purpose, whereas they have always been there. So it will entail our presidents to be able to sit together with other African countries and to seek solutions. Thirdly, that mediation should be the main manner in which resolutions should be taken. Mediation is being provided by the UN Charter, Article 33, and it requires that in situations where there are a lot of conflicts, where we don't really know how the conflict generated and it has become so complex, the parties need to sit down on the table and negotiate. And this is where the problem actually arises, because in 2009, the M23 and the government of DRC sat down on the table in Goma and they came up with the Goma agreement. But the DRC government did not respect this agreement under the principle of Pacta Sunt Servanda. And that is where we find ourselves today. So I think the process will have to be reinitiated once more, so that the two parties should sit down on the table and clearly resolve this issue. I think that by following these procedures and having the African Union as a strong bond to bring the parties together, then we'll resolve the problem.
Okay, Mike, a lot of collaboration in bringing an end to the conflict between DRC and Rwanda, and of course the attacks of the M23 rebels. Now, we also know that along the line this year, December, we should be looking at elections in the DRC. Now, is there a possibility that this crisis, refugee crisis, the M23 rebels, would further postpone elections of the DRC? Do you care to comment on that?
Well, I don't think the conflict is enough in itself to actually postpone the elections, because we just have a part of the DRC which is in this conflict, and that is the eastern region. I think that the elections can still be held in the other regions, but now we'll be talking about the legality of the elections due to the fact that everybody did not participate. So in that sense, we can feel that at the end of the day, it might be postponed. But I don't think that the DRC government will want to postpone it, because other parties are going to kick again, saying that the government is trying to use it to stay for long in power. So at the end of the day, it becomes a very complex situation. And I think that for more stability, the elections will better be held during the period set for.
I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, gentlemen. Asong Michael Khumbah, lawyer, member of the Rwandan Bar Association, joining from Kigali, and also Modeste Nkurikiyimana, journalist, also joining from Kigali. We do appreciate your contributions and insight to the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.